Greeley, the Montana State Bobcats roll into town chasing another Big Sky crown and a shot at the playoffs. November football is where the toughest stand tall, and the Cats know the road only gets colder from here. But Northern Colorado keeps climbing, building week by week, hungry to prove that progress comes with pride. On their home turf, with their home energy, a statement win is within reach. Cowboy grit meets Bear ambition, and something's bound to break. Big Sky action next on Scripps Saturday Showdown. An absolutely gorgeous day here in the Centennial State. Ball colors at their peak, and the Northern Colorado faithful are fired up, seeing continued growth from their Bears. But you know also fans have made the trek from Bozeman as their fourth-ranked Bobcats invade Greeley, looking to remain unbeaten in the conference and continue their hopeful trek to back-to-back Big Sky titles. Hi again, everyone. Ben Creighton, Ty Gregorak, Grace Lawrence also coming up in a couple minutes. And Ty, you say it every single year. The games they remember are played in November, and that definitely is going to be the case here in the final month of the regular season. 3 teams vying for a Big Sky crown.
You stole my line.
I had to, sorry.
But I like it, yeah. I mean, you've got Montana State, who's chasing a high playoff seed. But this outfit here in Greeley, man, Coach Lamb is doing a great job. They are much improved. He's really building something. I love talking to him and just the way he's trying to build his program, man. They're turning a corner. They've got a lot of youth. I'd expect them to be very much in the mix next year. That being said, we've got 60 minutes of ball today.
Well, it starts today right here in Greeley, which currently houses the top wideout in the conference in Carver Cheeks.
I love this kid, man. He's leading the Big Sky in receiving yards at 804 and yards per game. Both of those are in the top 5 in the FCS. The young man out of Colorado Springs, man, I tell you, we talked about it in the studio hit, Ben. This secondary is going to have their work cut out for them. I'm excited to see how they're mixing and matching coverages. That being said, I love the way this kid plays, and he's a big-time target in this league.
He's been fantastic, and hard to believe he came into Greeley as a defensive back and made that transition during the offseason. And on the defensive side of the ball, Cam Chapa can absolutely fly to the football. You know you're dangerous when you're one of the top tacklers in the Big Sky as a safety.
And just a sophomore, that's the thing. I mean, he's tied for first on the team with 63 tackles, but what I love, Ben, is he's a ball hawk, man. 3 interceptions on the year. The sophomore out of Aurora, Colorado, he's been nothing but dynamic for this Bear defense.
And for the Bobcats, Brent Vegan has said Julius Davis and Adam Jones are making more and more guys miss as the season has gone on, both coming off huge performances on the ground.
Yeah, it's a two-headed monster. They're basically taking turns having big days. You can see Adam Jones right here against Eastern Washington. The two of them combined have over 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. You know, it's just kind of running back by committee right now. You know, they've both been dynamic. And last week, it was that guy's turn, Ben, in San Luis Obispo. 175 yards against the Mustangs in a career day.
Playing like he was back in 2023, according to Brent Vegan. And this defense continues to shut down opposing offenses. First in scoring defense, rushing D, and total yards, thanks to this trio.
Well, yeah, we're gonna highlight the top 3 tacklers led by that guy in Caden Dowler. Bryce Grieving right now, number 2 in tackles. They've been awesome, man. Sean Howe has got these guys dialed. They've got one of the stoutest, if not the most stout front 4 in all of FCS football. Again, they lead the Big Sky in the 4 major defensive categories. The first 2 being total defense and total defense and points per game, only giving up 11 against FCS opponents, Ben.
Yeah, that D-line extremely stout. And another guy on that D-line, a great talent in Kenneth Iden. And for more on him, we go down to Grace Lawrence. Hi, Grace.
Hi, guys. Yeah, Kenneth Iden is a part of an elite defense for Montana State. And when I asked Coach Vegan about that unit earlier this week, he gave me 2 words: consistency and hunger. They knew that they would play hard, but it's been key to find that reliability from the group this year. Going into Oregon week 1, they thought they were 14, 15 players deep to rotate, which includes the 11 starters. Now they play about 20 guys regularly, which is a credit to how quickly they built that depth. A shout out to Coach Howe and Coach Vegan, guys.
Yeah, no question about that, Grace. And Ty, you and I were able to chat with Montana State defensive line coach Nick Jean-Baptiste earlier this week, and that was the one big thing that he told us. the consistency from that D-line this year has just been so apparent, the biggest strength of that defense so far.
Yeah, consistency and depth. I mean, he's built a beautiful room, and obviously Sean Howe's been doing it now with that D-line over the last 4 or 5 years. But my goodness, not only are the front four dominant, but they're playing 8 guys, and the other 4 that are coming in, they're playing fantastic football. It's sure nice in that second and third level when the front level of defense is that good.
A brick wall for that Montana State D-line as we take a look at our Stockman Bank weather for today's game. 53 degrees. Definitely has warmed up as the hours have gone by. We got to the stadium this morning. It was chilly, but can't complain about the sunshine today. That look at today's weather, sponsored by Stockman Bank, Montana's brand of banking. Montana State won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so Northern Colorado will get the ball to start this one. Again, a lot of improvement out of Ed Lamb's squad here in 2025. A lot of heartbreaking losses, but this is a squad they continue to build up inside the program. Not a lot of transfers. They're not going to go into the portal. A lot of homegrown talent here from the state of Colorado. And like I said, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, they're showing improvement as the season has gone on.
They are, and he's doing it the right way, Ben. I mean, it all starts with Colorado, with over 50% of his roster from right here in the Centennial State. The other, 15% of it's coming from California, but he's doing it the right way in that he's recruiting high school kids. He's mixing in some transfers, but not a heavy dose. I love what he's doing, and he's proven he can do it before. He did it at Southern Utah.
Luke Wooten will let it fly into the end zone for a touchback and a 25-yard line start coming up for Northern Colorado. And how about this story this year? Eric Gibson Jr. coming into Northern Colorado this year. Just a tremendous passer for this Northern Colorado offense.
Yes, he's been crazy. I mean, I know he started his career at LSU, but over 2,000 yards right now, second in the Big Sky and number 5 in FCS at 261 per. He's been very, very good.
Carver Cheeks, the man in motion. First play, they'll swing it out to him on the flat and decked immediately at the 20-yard line as Jace McMillan from that cornerback spot absolutely brings the wood.
Big time hit, just playing a little clouded coverage over there, and I think we put him as one of the impact players because he's going to have his work cut out for him in that secondary. Big time shot though, great open field tackle. Nice stop to get him second and long.
A loss of 2 right there for Northern Colorado. McMillan coming in with 17 tackles on the season. Now to the ground on the RPO. Gibson will take it himself and plows past the 25-yard line in the original line of scrimmage for a gain of 4. And like I said, well, you kind of nailed it, Ty.
Yeah, I was wrong though. But again, Meredith, McMillan, those guys in the secondary, Carr, they're going to have their work cut out for them. But I'm excited to watch Zach Nowatzki play. He's third on the team right now in tackles. And then Darryl Bryant, a man we're going to talk about today a lot because it's Military Appreciation Day. He served our country. He's a good football player. Excited to watch him play.
On third down, flag flies. Quick hitter to Carver Cheeks again, past the 30. And swarmed by a pair of Bobcats for a gain of 5. But again, Laundry on the field. Illegal formation on Northern Colorado. Greg Wilson, our white hat this afternoon here at Nottingham Field.
Yeah, you can't beat yourself right there on third and long. Coach Lamb's going to bring out his punt team.
They'll bring out Leo Blumentritt. Punted away, Taco Dowler back to return for Montana State. High booming punt there as Dowler will haul it from the 15. Evades a tackler, cuts up field, finds a window, still on his feet and gets tripped up past the 30. And a solid return for Taco Dowler.
This was a slippery little move by Taco because, the momentum is taking him backwards. Just that little spin right there at the end. Nice play by him and then getting, another 15, 20 yards out of it. Good return by Taco.
19-yard return there by Taco Dowler. So dangerous in that punt return game as the Montana State offense comes on the field for the first time this afternoon. led by Justin Lamson. Kind of a rough game last week against Cal Poly. Kind of hard to get into a rhythm. Not really a clean passing game in general. Had connection issues, according to Brent Vegan, was sped up. So looking to have a better performance today here in Greeley. 4 wide, trips on the far side. And a bobbled snap, Lamson recovers and takes off with it, making something out of nothing, but showing the strength as he's able to trot for a gain of 11. 1 play, 1 first down.
This is what's so special about Lamson, though. You know, the loss of Tommy Malott, you know, and these running quarterbacks over the last 7, 8, 9 years at MSU. This guy's been really good on his feet. You saw it right there, a muffed snap. The next thing you know, he gets 10 yards out of it. Great job by him.
Yeah, came in with 324 yards on the ground. Toughest nails in that running game. Going to the air, pocket collapsing, wide open. Dane Steele down the boundary as he's escorted out of bounds. 18-yard pickup there, and Montana State's offense quickly moving down the field.
Yeah, he comes from all the way from the other side, the Montana State side, if you will. Nice job, good clean pocket there, and you know, Dane Steele's having a heck of a season. This is a guy we keep talking about. There's some youth in that wide receiver room, and that guy's been really, really sharp.
Offensive coordinator Pete Sturbeck calling him Mr. Consistency back in the spring. On the rollout, the dump out this time to their tight end, Ryland Schlepp. Past the 35-yard line for a gain of 7.
Yeah, we got some laundry on the field, though, Ben. I'm excited to see what they do here. They brought Schlepp from the boundary side, just a little play-action boot out of it.
Roughing the passer on Northern Colorado. I would think he might have said 53.
I was just going to ask you. I can't hear the numbers.
I can't hear it either.
It's like a muffled. But anyway, though, that's a bad penalty right there, because you got a positive gaining yardage there to Schlepp. Tack on 15. Next thing you know, you're sitting down in the red zone. 3-4 plays later, good opening drive by Montana State.
Already in the ABA red zone. Play fake, Lamson with an eternity on the slant. Dane Steele makes the squeeze. At around the 5-yard line, taken down by a pair of Northern Colorado Bears for 14.
It's really a nice route here by Taco Dowler. You can see him right there, and they're just gonna run hard on that inside slant. Kind of got Frankie Morales there at the strong safety position on little ankles. Good sharp route by Taco Dowler. And this is a fascinating formation right here, Ben, I was gonna say, you got so many guys lined up in the backfield. Now they go Wildcat, Adam Jones on the direct snap. Cutting upfield as he finds a hole. And trucks forward for a gain of 2. It's that early chess match, Ben. You know, they're gonna start in a funky formation, see how the defense is gonna align. They get back into a normal tray, 12 personnel set there, give it to Adam Jones, they're knocking on the door.
You know, you said just marching down the field. On offense, Montana State, very effective, 26 of 29. And 72% of them have gotten into the end zone. Tight end movement, the pitch, Rocky Lencioni turns the corner and easily scoots into the blue turf. Touchdown, Montana State.
The Italian Stallion, Ben, they went 13 personnel, 1 back, 3 tight ends, and basically a little shovel, a little tight end slip screen here in the backfield. I love it. What a call. Great perimeter blocking there by his homies in the tight end room. Touchdown, Cats.
Lencioni's 4th touchdown of the season. Has really broken out the last couple of weeks. Miles Senstead now on for the PAT. And bangs it right through. Well, Brent Vegan said last week the Bobcat offense a little methodical. Definitely not the case on their opening drive today here in Greeley, as Lencioni finds the end zone. And again, the tight end's just so effective for Montana State this season. Not only in blocking, but hauling in those touchdown passes. You see once again from Rocky Lencioni, who took it in. 6 plays, 54 yards on that drive from Montana State. As it goes back into the end zone, as we take a look once again at that TD from the tight end from Bozeman, Ty.
Well, I love it. And I was actually talking to offensive assistant Sean Chambers, and everybody in Bobcat Nation knows that name. He's working with the wide receivers now. And I said, hey, man, you keep getting these tight ends involved, and they're scoring touchdowns. What do you think about a little tight end shovel screen? He goes, hey, Gregorak, we got it. We're just waiting for the right look to do it. And sure enough, they did it and did it well.
Let's go down to Grace Lawrence.
Yeah, Ben, there's 4 Bozeman tight ends on the team. If you count Rocky, who just scored that touchdown. Vegan credits all these players. They're multi-sport athletes for both Bozeman and Gallatin. That's been key in their athleticism and their ball skills, guys.
Brandon Johnson getting the call, able to break away from a couple tackles, still churning, and gets close to the 40-yard line. Brandon Johnson, the leading rusher last week in that loss to UC Davis, with a 14-yard scoot and a first down for the Bears.
This is a great run by Johnson here. He initially makes Caden Gray miss right there, and you can see the great backside effort here by Bryce Grebe. You can see him coming at the end there, right there. He's trying to club punch Rip, didn't get the ball out, but what a great run by that young man. First down, Bears.
And this Northern Colorado coaching staff really raving to us earlier this week about Johnson. Great slashing ability, making guys miss in the open field, and on full display right there. New set of downs, 4 wide. Gibson, that ball tipped, but still finds Carver Cheeks. Nope, incomplete. It looked like it was knocked away. As we take a look at the MMA fan zone, as we have an injured Northern Colorado Bear. Fans want to make sure to send in your submissions to the MMA fan zone, whether it's in Bozeman or right here in the state of Colorado. We'll highlight some of our favorites coming up later in the game. We'll take a break. Injured Bear down on the field. Carver Cheeks, the injured Bear, is thankfully he was able to walk off under his own power. You see Ed Lamb right there, his 3rd season here in Greeley, and like I mentioned before, you could see the growth in this program. He told us earlier this week he didn't take the job for the record. He made it known during his interview Northern Colorado could not compete for portal players. We're going to get the 3rd, 4th, 5th choice kids that hail from the state of Colorado, and you can just see all the players buying in as that one is incomplete, intended for their tight end and Charles Garrison. That'll bring up 3rd down. Seth Johnson in coverage.
Good tight coverage there by Seth Johnson. But yeah, going back to Ed Lamb, man, I mean, he jokingly not joked. He said, hey, my record doesn't look good here. Frankly, it didn't look good at Southern Utah either, but they gave him time to develop his program, and they ended up winning a Big Sky championship out of it and became a very competitive football team, you know. I said in the open, or maybe in the studio hit, he's recruiting high school kids and developing them, and I love that approach.
On 3rd down and 10, Gibson just dumping it out onto the far side. Going to Gwynn, gain of 3, but that'll bring up a 4th down for Northern Colorado.
Again, I love the way this Cat secondary is attacking the line of scrimmage. I mean, they're just getting shot out of rockets right now, going up and making open field tackles. Again, Seth Johnson, again, we called his name a couple times on that drive. Nice job by him, bring out the punt team.
As Taco Dowler awaits. Already with a solid 19-yard return. They bring the pressure. As this time, this one will take a favorable Northern Colorado bounce inside the 10. As the Bobcats will start deep from their own territory. 50-yard punt. But the defense once again getting it done for Montana State. The top unit in the Big Sky gets the ball back. I mean, Michael Wortham's having a tremendous year in Missoula. Justin Lamson, obviously a tremendous get in Bozeman. A lot of great candidates. On the first play of this drive, absolutely stuffed as they go to Julius Davis. No gain there.
If I was a betting guy, Ben, and I am, I tell you what, that Wortham kid's having a heck of a year.
He really is, man.
He's one of the most dynamic players in all the land. We got another, looks like another Bear on the ground.
You know, Levi Little at that nose guard spot, shaken up. I mean, Wortham,
Guy's special.
He really is.
He is special. I mean, all those guys are deserving, and there's still a lot of football left. But my goodness, he is he's different level. Good get for Coach Hauk and co. Hope Big Levi Little there out of Clovis, California is doing okay. He's been a productive guy for him.
And the transfer out of Fresno City College. And this was a big thing Ed Lamb said earlier this week. You go back to that game last week against UC Davis. They got down 14 or 24-0 early on. A lot of miscues, mistakes, got into the hole early. And you can't really do that against top 10 opponents like UC Davis, or in this case, Montana State.
Well, you look at what they've done this year. I mean, their losses, I mean, most of them have been very competitive. I mean, they've been in games. They just got to learn to win. Find ways to win, but learn how to win.
Lamson from his end zone. Lets it rip down the boundary, incomplete. Incomplete intended for Taco Dowler. And now a word from the Montana Boat Center.
Football season, boating season. You can plan for one while enjoying the other. Order your new dream boat now. Montana Boat Center.
Well, Brent Vigen said after that Cal Poly game, we didn't make any big plays in the passing game. Tried for fireworks there. Now 3rd and 10.
Yeah, just overshot him a little bit. I thought that corner did a good job of just rerouting him just a little bit to make it a tough throw and catch.
Yeah, impressive 49% on 3rd downs. Montana State reaching for the sky. Dane Steele, but that'll bring up a 4th down as Frankie Morales escorted him out of bounds.
Really nice job by defensive coordinator Preston Hadley's unit right there. Montana State, you know, probably not as juggernaut-esque as they were a year ago, but still very, very productive offensively this season. That's a good stop for him early in this game. Hopefully that Bear offense can get something a little bit going. You know, I was thinking it earlier, you know, when are we going to see someone try to establish a run game against this stout Cat D? You know, are they going to try to get the run game going? It was a nice run by Johnson, but they got to get something going now. Keep their defense off the field.
Luke Wooten will call fair catch. 40-yard punt there. And Ty, like we talked about in the open, final month of the regular season, this is going to be a fun final couple of weeks as you take a look at the Big Sky standings. Obviously a fun one last night, a crazy one last night in the walk-up Sky Dome, but you look at Montana, Davis, Montana State, it's going to be a fun race for that Big Sky title.
It is, but you know, I kind of checked them off right there because as everyone saw last night's game with Idaho going to flag and getting the win, this is going to be a 3 playoff league this year. It's been a 4 and 5 for years now. Not this year. It's only going to be 3, and it's probably those 3 we just checked off there.
Braden Monroe, the man in motion for UNC. 1st down. Play action. Gibson able to get it off. And a one-handed grab there by Justin Gwynn.
It's a really nice job by Gwynn catching the ball. But my goodness, great job getting the ball out of Gibson's hand here. I mean, that pressure's coming. You can see Dom Solano getting pressure. Solano had a nice game last game. You know, he's really come into his own. We were talking to Coach Baptiste, like you said. He just said he's earned the trust in the room there.
Well, like Grace mentioned, that's a D-line group that wants to go 8, 9, 10 deep, and building that depth is going to be so crucial heading into the final month of the regular season and into the FCS playoffs. On the slant, on the far side, weaving his way through, getting into plus territory, and a gain of 11.
That's our guy Cheeks. I tell you what, Northern Colorado's got one of the all-name rosters in the Big Sky, man. They've got a Butts, they've got a Cheeks, and they got a Bacon, Ben.
I personally like Bacon.
I do too. Big Jack Bacon, you can see him on the field right now. That big right tackle, 6'6", 305. Big Jack Bacon got him back last week. He'd been injured for a couple.
As you look at so many playmakers offensively for Northern Colorado. 3rd down, another quick hitter, incomplete.
Big play, Tay. Good tight coverage, got that left arm in there, right there at the end to deflect the football. Nice PBU by him.
It seemed like Ed Lamb kind of had to think about it for a second, but they'll bring out the punt unit on 4th and 3.
Well, you know, they're on their own side of the field, you know, but you're going up against one of the best defenses in the country. It's 4th and just enough.
Dowler will let it fly. And again, another favorable Bears bounce. Pinned very deep, 46-yard punt there. So far, a good afternoon by Leo Blumentritt.
Well, after those last 2 punts, and I know it's early in the game, but if there's a player of the game right now for Northern Colorado, it's that kid. Big Leo, the punter's doing a nice job. That's 2 inside the 10. Put a good offense like that, you know, as a defensive coordinator, you know, one of the best weapons you can have is a great punter to flip the field that way. Nice start by that young man.
Well, that's what you get when you have one of the best punters in the FCS. 21st nationally, 2nd in the Big Sky, averaging 43 yards per punt. And like you said, definitely a standout so far here in the first quarter as Montana State all the way back at their 1. I was going to say the play clock was running down for the Bobcats.
Yeah, and you know that's Justin Lamb's. Justin, you know, you can have a delay a game coming off the sideline. I know you're way deep in your own territory. Understand the situation, get the play call and go. They're in 12 personnel right now. They're going a balanced 2-by-2 look with each tight end on each side. But that quarterback's got to be very cognizant of the clock.
You're as far back as you can get.
They are. They're on like the half-inch line.
You don't hear that a whole lot. They'll go to the ground game and swallowed up. Getting right back to the original line of scrimmage, Julius Davis. As Aiden Merrihew was able to wrap him up.
Yeah, again, you know, one would think they just try to keep getting the ball out a little bit. You know, as a defensive coordinator, this is one of those areas where you're telling those DBs, hey, be on high alert for take a shot right here, because you're assuming they're just going to try to keep, you know, inching out of their own end zone here. Just be alert as a defensive guy to watch a deep ball.
Lamson this time still looking, will use his feet again and pushed out of bounds.
Number 8, Justin Lamson, the ball carrier.
Gain of 8 there for Lamson.
This is great sideline to sideline pursuit here by 42. You can see the good middle linebacker right here, Zach Nowatzki. You know, went on a 2-year mission. He's kind of one of the older dogs on this team. Came into the game with 45 tackles. Nice sideline to sideline pursuit by him.
On 3rd down and 2, bunched up on the line, Montana State from the eye. Nothing going. No gain there as that D line for Northern Colorado holds to force 4th down.
Great job by the Bears, man. Defensive line coach Aaron Fernandez. Those guys are matching up really nicely against this Cat offensive line. Nice job by them. Bring out the punt team again, and they're going to get their foot on the football on their own side of the field.
Playing that gap control defense, as Ed Lamb told us earlier this week. Looking to improve, stopping the run. And boy, did they ever on that drive. Wooten. And this time takes a favorable Northern Colorado bounce. 42 yards on that punt. But this Montana State defense, again, number 1 in the Big Sky this season. I mean, just look at the numbers from the last 5 games. Just under 9 points per game. And you want to go with another stat? Only allowing 51 total points in the last 6.
Ben, yeah, I mean, the points are incredible. But when you're averaging 70+% success rates on 3rd down, that's going to win you a lot of football games.
Gibson being chased by Kenneth Iden, and the Bozeman product rips him down from behind.
Yeah, this is great coverage, Ben, because you know, his first look was his dude, Cheeks there. Good tight coverage. He couldn't pull the trigger right away, and next thing you know, Bozeman, Montana's Kenny Iden's chased him down from the back there, and you get him to 2nd and 15.
Loss of 4 there.
Quarterback's doing a check with me. If you're a defensive player right now, you're alert. Screen and draw.
Matthias Price in at running back for Northern Colorado on the slant, right at the 50. That one complete. Braden Monroe, 6-yard gain.
Absolutely, and it's a good throw and catch, just a quick slant, but again, tight coverage by Seth Johnson. Seth Johnson, we've called his name now multiple times. Really nice start by that defensive secondary for the Cats. Coach Brian Shepard's got his boys hitting and tackling, running.
Gibson so far 6 of 9 through the air here in the first quarter. This time Wooten laid out again. This time Carson Williams, who's really breaking out this year, loss of 2, forces 4th down.
You know, a lot of this though has got to be put on Gibson. I mean, he's kind of hanged his receivers out to dry a little bit now. I mean, but I'll say it again. Those secondary, those defensive backs for MSU have come to pop. They're popping.
Like I mentioned, Carson Williams, a playmaker continuing to be more and more consistent, according to Brent Vegan. Forcing another Bears punt. And Dowler, fair catch at the 16. And some extra pushing and shoving after the whistle. So now the Bobcat offense right back on the field. And I want to ask you more about that secondary, because there were so many questions coming into this season for Montana State. The youth, the amount of talent that they lost. What has this young Montana State secondary done well that has kind of shut down the early doubts coming into the season?
Well, yeah, they've grown up a lot. I mean, they're not youngsters anymore. I love the addition of cornerback coach Trenton Green. You know, we talked to him weeks ago now, but just the mentality and the attitude and that dogness that he's brought, man, I love it. They're playing well.
Julius Davis getting the call. Trying to dance around a couple tackles. Gain of 2 there from Julius Davis.
Well, it starts up front. It's a great job by the D-line, but again, middle linebacker 42, Nowatzki there with the finish. You know, that first drive, they're going to look at and coach them up, obviously, tomorrow on all the things they could have done that ended up in that tight end shovel screen. But since then, this Bear defense has been pretty stout.
Against a Montana State rushing attack right now. 2nd in the Big Sky, 7th in the FCS at 234 yards per game. To the air, wide open on the near side. Dane Steele will get pushed out of bounds. And again, some more pushing and shoving after the whistle as LaDavion Osborne pushed him out for a gain of 12.
Yeah, a little extracurricular at the end. Again, let's get Lamson comfortable, right? Just high percentage throws, quick hitch. Let his good young receiver core do the rest there with Dane Steele. We've already called his name a couple times. You got trips into the boundary here, kind of interesting formation.
Julius Davis breaking through, tries to hurdle another man. You know, Brent Vegan said he kind of gets scared when he does that, but it's awesome to watch as we get another flag. Right now it stands a 9-yard gain.
I think it's going to be big JT Rigg there at the center position. They're going to get him with the hold and kind of tackle the old suplex there.
Good first down.
Did you get a number?
I did not.
Well, that's probably because I was talking too much, but you know what? I can't hear him up here anyway, so. But I think I was right.
Well, no matter who it's on, Montana State will be backed up.
Yeah, first and forever.
Going to the sweep, Taco Dowler hesitates, trying to turn the corner and bust down the edge, knocked out of bounds. 7 yards there.
Yeah, nice perimeter blocking here. You know, Taco's so dynamic. They're getting chippy. there's some late stuff going on. There's some talking going on.
And now you got a two-back set here on 2nd and 11.
This was their formation last week against Pauley. Oh, they're changing.
Yep, Davis will leak out. Lamson over the middle, wide open. Dane Steele momentarily lost the football, able to regain possession. And Dane Steele, a big target so far this afternoon, gain of 9.
Yeah, good throw and catch, and I love the finish here by Cam Chappa. We've talked about him. You know, he's been very productive. 3 interceptions on the year, and just a young player out of Aurora, Colorado.
Leading the Big Sky 6th nationally at 5.5 solo tackles per game. And yeah, this Northern Colorado coaching staff telling us gained over 15 pounds in the offseason, which has really helped them wrap up opposing offensive playmakers a lot more as we get whistles.
The on-field ruling of a completed pass is under further review.
Okay.
So they'll go back and take a look at Dane Steele's catch.
I'm only curious because how many steps does he have to take with the ball in his hand to make sure that it is in fact a catch?
Well, like I said, he's been a big target so far. Already 5 catches, 44 yards for Dane Steele.
All right, so. Well, okay. From that angle, I guess I get why they're reviewing it.
Well, the question just becomes, how long did he maintain possession before that ball came out?
Initially, I thought he had possession, and then Chappa jarred it out at the end. What a beautiful day down here, Ben.
It really is. I'm thankful the sun is now overhead, because when we got here, the sun, I thought we were going to have to pull out the shades.
No doubt.
Or I was going to get a sunburn on my face.
Over 300 days of sun in beautiful Colorado. You got Boulder, my alma mater, just to the south. You got the big game tonight versus Arizona. Just to the north of us, you've got the coachless Rams, not the Bighorns, Ben, not the Bighorns. They're the Rams, looking for a coach right now. Talked about it last week a little bit. Are they going to get?
Never maintain control to complete the catch. Therefore, by rule, that is an incomplete pass. Ball be placed at the previous spot. 2nd down.
Well, I stand to be corrected.
So now a 3rd down.
Yeah, Dane Steele's had a nice start to this game. He's just got to catch the ball clean. He's got to snatch it like a lab, man, going up for a frisbee. Just go snatch the ball and tuck it away.
Oh for 2 so far today on 3rd downs, Montana State. Chris Long, the man in motion. Over the middle, Jabez Woods on the haul. And gets decked, stays on his feet with the extra effort, and picks up a 1st down for the Bobcats.
Zone coverage, it's a great job by his homies in that wide receiver room, kind of clearing out the defense, just running a drag route over the middle here. Takes a shot at the end, but for a young kid, he's tough. He's athletic as heck. That's a great job by him in that Cat offense. 1st down.
That 14-yard pickup will take us to the end of the 1st quarter here in Greeley. A 7-0 lead for the number 4 team in the land. A lot of defense on display so far here at Nottingham Field. Quarter number 2 coming up next. Always love the fall colors. Great time of the year. The UNC band looking for the Bears to get a stop. 1st down for Montana State as we start quarter number 2. Right now for Montana State, 106 yards so far as Ryland Schlepp motions for the Bobcats. Hand off, Julius Davis again. And again, just continuing to truck as we go down to Grace Lawrence once again.
Today is Military Appreciation Game for UNC, and Coach Ed Lamb says it just means a little more for this program because they have a veteran on their team, defensive back Darrell Bryant Jr. He went to JMU, then served as an infantry team leader in the U.S. Army from 2020 to 2023. The team has so much respect for him and his journey, guys.
Yeah, that was a cool scene before the game, being one of the flag bearers before the national anthem. Taco Dowler motions, again going to Julius Davis. He'll be stopped short of the 1st down marker, but I mean, just a tremendous story from Grace Lawrence right there. Right now attending Northern Colorado on the GI Bill. Even said military was kind of a backup option for him if football didn't go well. Didn't play a whole lot of James Madison, but here he is playing football, and obviously a salute to him for sure for his service as we have another injured Bear down on the field. We'll take a break and come back with an update. I'm trying to think, is that out in the cornfield? I think so. Obviously you got some pictures with Champ. You got the doggo sporting the hat.
Oh, there's a picture of a dog, Ben. You're so happy. It's made your day.
Of course it does. 12 personnel, play fake. Lamson, he wants to show off the arm. Way downfield, he's got a man inside the red zone. What a completion and a first down for Montana State. Ryan King with the squeeze, 46 yards.
You said he wanted to show off the arm, but he really didn't. He needs to just throw this thing even a little bit earlier because he's so wide open the whole time. That thing, he had him beat like a drum right there. I mean, look at it. Throw the ball now so that it's not underthrown, and this thing is in the blue part of the field and not the green, Benny.
Now in the pistol, first and goal. Lamson up the gut and gets sticked. We go back to that big connection once again, Ty.
Yeah, I mean, they went big personnel, so maybe as a defender, you're thinking, that split zone that's been so good, but again, he got to air out that football and hit him in stride.
Also, Brent Vigen has said multiple times, they're still trying to get Ryan King into the end zone for the first time.
King's been doing a lot of great things, though, kind of behind the scenes. His perimeter blocking the next.
Lamson again on the keeper. And stuffed up as they continue to try to march their way into the end zone. Back down to Grace Lawrence.
Yeah, Ben, this is Ryan King's third spot. He's also played at Georgia Tech and Eastern Carolina. Wide receivers coach Sam Mick says he plays extremely hard for a receiver. He knows what it takes to win. Vigen thinks he's hitting his stride. He's found joy again, especially because he had an off-season shoulder injury that required surgery, guys.
A big body on the reverse and swallowed up. Going to Jacob Trimble. But that D-end, Ezra Ekuba, able to swallow him up to force fourth down.
Absolutely, the junior out of Parker, Colorado. You can see he just keeps his shoulders square. He's kind of just shimmying down the line of scrimmage as it moves. Great job by him. Came into the game with 36 tackles, but more importantly, 7 tackles for loss and another one right there. Tried a little trickeration, and Montana State's going to be kicking themselves after that big explosive play that they're having to settle for hopefully 3 here.
A 26-yard attempt here for Miles Sandstead. And he knocks it right through. And now a 10-0 lead for number 4, Montana State. Yeah, Ezra Ekuba definitely learning from the best. His dad, who played in the NFL for 9 seasons. But a big throw and catch from Lamson to King. But only 3 points on the board for the Bobcats.
Today's game.
Ty, we take a look once again at that beautiful connection from Justin Lamson to Ryan King to get in the red zone.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to kind of draw on it, but we're having some technical issues. You can see right there, he's so beat. He is so beat, and Justin kind of holds the ball a little longer. He airs that thing out just a little earlier. That thing's 6 points and not 3. Really wanted to draw on that, Ben. We got issues.
I know you're
with the telling.
I know you're disappointed you don't get arts and crafts time tonight.
Uh-oh, we got an issue right here.
Yeah, ball still on the turf, but able to be picked up by Luke Wooten. He was taken down not too long after picking up that football. So still a goose egg on the scoreboard for Northern Colorado and their offense. And you look at the stats. Well, first we'll take a look at defense, actually, for Montana State. I mean, they have continued to swallow up this Northern Colorado offense.
Well, this is what UNC's offense has done thus far, Ben. 1 first down, 27 total yards, and 0 of 4 on third. Again, the player of the game right now, the dang punter, who's averaging 47 and 2 inside the 10. Great job by Sean Howe's unit.
Trying to bounce to the outside, Peter Costelli. And how about this? Got injured in the season opener and making his return today. Gain of 3 right there. You look at the First 4 drives for Northern Colorado.
But okay, yeah, everyone's gonna be like, oh, 4 punts, but look at 3 plays, 4 plays, 3 plays, 3 plays, and who I'm gonna give a massive shout out to is that UNC defense, because they've been on the field a lot. You know, I mean, I know it's 10-0, but 10 points against this offense, it's a good job by them thus far.
And swallowed up immediately. Handing it off to Rocco Traore. Loss of 5 there.
The big boys up front, man. There he is, Alec Eckert, the Washington State transfer. Love these 2 interior dudes. In both Paul Brott and Alec Eckert. You can see good shots of them right there. And you play like that, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna bring out your cheetah package, your speed rushers with Parsons, Solano, Zach Cruz, Kenny Iden, and they're gonna pin their ears back and hunt.
Gibson back in on 3rd and 12. To the ground game again. Traore. Now bring up a 4th down once again for Northern Colorado. And now word from the Jewelry Design Center.
More choices. We are Jewelry Design Center, and we want to be your jeweler for life. Come see us in Missoula, on Brooks, across from the Montana Club.
No answers for that Northern Colorado offense going up against that Montana State defense. As they shift formations here on 4th and 6. Scraping the blue sky as that will go out of bounds. Again, suffocating defense from the Bobcats.
Here we go. UNC. Let's go.
The second most wins in Montana State history. Brent Vegan, the head man out in Bozeman, the fastest Big Sky coach to 50 wins. And for his QB1 today, Justin Lamson, so far with a solid start, 8 of 10 so far for QB1.
Well, he definitely looks sharper than he did a week ago. I mean, it's not like he was bad. I thought Cal Poly's defense did a nice job of kind of changing up coverages and just making him uncomfortable enough. But he's been good. You know, again, not to pour salt on it, but just sling that ball a little earlier, and that thing's a touchdown.
Here's Adam Jones getting the carry. Shoestring tackle. And picks up a 1st down, a gain of 11 there by Adam Jones.
Yeah, good job by the front. Good finish by the young man out of Missoula, Montana. He sees that hole right there. First initial tackler is a miss. Move the chains. Montana State, nice run by Adam Jones.
Now to the air. Clean pocket, Lamson will take off, use the legs again. Into Northern Colorado territory. An 8-yard scoot there by Lamson, and he's slow to get up.
Well, you know, I mean, I hope he's okay. It's only a matter of time, man. I mean, again, you always call him QB1. You have to learn to protect your body, man. 8 of 10, 121, that's fantastic. Great open field tackle here by Frankie Morales coming out of that safety position. It almost, you know, it looks, you know, knee, ankle-ish, but I mean, he's not afraid to throw his body around. He's just got to be smart too. You are the starting quarterback.
On 2nd and 3. Now to Adam Jones, short of the 1st down marker. Because that's a talking point that you and I kind of talked about this week, talking about Justin Lamson. You go back to a year ago with Tommy Millott and all the Montana State coaches saying, hey, we want to utilize him in the run game, but we also want to preserve him to make sure that he's durable throughout the season. How do you get that same kind of production as well out of Justin Lamson to make sure that he's still good to go while using his ability to take off and scoot?
Yeah, I think there's a time and a place where you absolutely fight for that extra yard. You know, that was an example right there. You've already got a good positive play. Maybe just learn to slide. I love these big, multiple tight end formations we're seeing here.
Yeah, 2 tight ends in. Adam Jones gets tripped up and a flag thrown.
You know, other than that positive yardage fly sweep by Taco Dowler, these you know, perimeter type run plays really aren't working.
Holding, offense number 88. That play to be declined. 4th down.
Rylan Schlepp, the guilty party.
And we're going to see it right here. I don't know if the telly's working or not, but you can see they're in kind of that power pair formation right there. He just gets enough of that jersey, And that first initial defender was the one that bubbled the play and really made the play. I like what you see. I like what UNC's defense is doing. I mean, they haven't been perfect, but you know they're playing really pretty good and getting MSU into more punting formations than I think they thought they'd be able to get in the first half.
Well, they came into this game #1 in the Big Sky in pass defense, but 11th in rushing defense. So you talk about a solid afternoon so far for Ed Lamb's defense. As the play clock hits 0.
Play game, offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th
And you can see Rocky Lencioni down on the field absolutely furious with that special teams unit.
Well, yeah, there was a miscommunication. You can see a good shot of Coach Marcus Monaco right there. They were missing a player, had to get a player in late. Kind of got to get that cleaned up. I was talking to him last week after the ball game, Coach Monaco that is. I said, hey man, that play by Froker, getting the ball down, that high snap, and that field goal right before half, that was one of the plays of the game.
This is also a Montana State bunch who, after starting the season, fantastic in terms of limiting penalties. It's kind of dipped a little bit over the last 3 games. Fair catch called. 47-yard punt there. And obviously one of the big pieces of news this week surrounding Montana State, the master plan to renovate a brand new Bobcat Stadium. I mean, that looks nice, man. I mean, look at all the new additions. You can't forget about the Brick Breeden Fieldhouse as well. New additions to a bunch of athletic facilities out in Bozeman.
Money, money, money. They just keep spending, Ben. $16 million on the new football-only facility. You've got $27 million put in there at the indoor. They're going to spend millions more on that one. Then you can just see the attendance. You know, I've heard whispers of, you know, around 25, 26,000 with the addition. We'll see.
And that immediately Brandon Johnson.
And who else, Ben? Seth Johnson. My goodness, he's either playing a clouded corner position or that, I don't think it was a corner blitz, but my goodness, he read that fast, and I love the way he is sticking off offenders today. Good job by those DBs.
No gain there. Up the middle, nothing going. Only a gain of 1 there, 3rd down.
You know, another one of those depth players right there. A good shot of Talon Marsh. Called his name multiple times last week. He's the first in on the pop. Big redshirt sophomore out of Helena, Montana, state capital. Capital High School, by the way.
Oh, and 5 on 3rd down so far for Northern Colorado. Monroe, the motion man. Pressure coming, Gibson lets it fly. Incomplete as he underthrows Carver Cheeks, 4th down.
Great tight coverage. You know, Northern Colorado doesn't get sacked a lot, Ben. You know, they've only had 8 sacks on the season. This ball still got out quickly, but the D-line, that cheetah package, did just enough that made Gibson get the ball out of his hand quickly and had to underthrow. And sure enough, bring out the punt team.
Only 32 total yards for Northern Colorado. Fair catch by Dowler at the 45. A 45-yard punt. I mean, we really got a lot of news this week in terms of the Big Sky. Of course, the 2026 schedule released. And you look at Montana State going to Utah Tech, one of the newest members of the conference to start off the 2026 campaign, hosting Northern Arizona, back to Eastern Washington, and at Idaho, some of the key games next year for Montana State.
Yeah, new member there to start. I'm sure it'll be late at night. The one I'm interested in is that Nevada game, the Fighting Chotes on the road in Reno, the biggest little city in the world.
Play fake, incomplete. trying to go to Dane Steele, Davion Osborne there on the coverage.
Really good coverage by Davion Osborne here. You can see it right here, just a quick slant. Well, I guess we're not going to see it. Well, maybe we are. Yeah, my telestrator's all jacked up here, Ben, but good tight coverage, like you said, by Osborne there.
The senior out of Tyler, Texas. And now trips on the far side for Montana State, 2nd and 10 with under 6 to play here in the second. Lamson quickly to Taco Dowler for a gain of 5, 3rd down.
Yeah, 3rd and mid here, Ben, and again, if somehow, some way that Northern Colorado defense comes up with a 3rd down stop, I can see Coach Lamb right there. You know, I asked him, he's an old defensive guy, played at BYU, coached at BYU. I asked him about that 8-0 team that's a top 10 team. They're playing good football, but I know he still has a hand in this defense, and it's showing up today, man. They're playing good.
Holding Montana State to 2 of 6 on 3rd downs today. Lamson, pocket collapses, and he takes off. Being chased, and will easily scoot out of bounds. And when you're in trouble, Justin Lamson can get it done with his feet as he moves the 6 for Montana State on a 6-yard scamper.
Yeah, it's a really, really great job by Lamson here. You know, they had him at multiple opportunities. He's just a good job outrunning those big defensive linemen.
Yeah, Aiden Merrihew was the man who almost got him by the shoestrings.
Well, it was Dominic Butts who originally kind of had a shot. It was going to be a tough play. Great job by Lamson keeping the play alive and getting the 1st down.
We'll go under center on 1st and 10. Play action. He wants the end zone. Again to Ryan King. That one almost scraped the blue Colorado sky on a big connection once again.
It's a really, really nice route. Okay, so it's a deep corner route. I'm not going to be able to draw it for you today, sadly. All right, but we're not going to be able to see it from this angle, but really a sharp, what he did was he ran a go route, a good vertical route, and then he just stemmed it off at the end. Great protection by the offensive line. Nothing but time there for Lamson to get it to Ryan King. Great throw and catch.
Lamson on the QB run, able to elude a tackle. Taken out short of the 5.
I tell you what, man, you know, Cam Chapa is going to be a name that a lot of folks in the Big Sky are going to remember. This kid is a good young safety. I'm not sure if we're going to see a replay of this, but my goodness, what a great, like, just picture perfect form tackle by Cam Chapa there on Lamson.
That's so impressive on the freshman.
Balls go side to side and not north-south. There's been some great sticks out of both the safety and linebacker core. You know, I know I'm an old defensive guy, but I mean the offense has got to get something going right now because the defense is doing their part in my mind.
Well, it just shows the continued growth here in Greeley. Another great quote from Ed Lamb earlier this week, by the way. They, like you mentioned before, they've suffered a lot of really tough losses this season, and he said, look, there's a reason why the rear view is small and the windshield is big. Got to keep looking forward. And they're battling once again against a top 25 opponent. Balled in short of the 10. Down the boundary. Not much going there. Back down to Grace Lawrence.
Kenny Iden on Montana State has been a star for this defense, and he's also carrying on a family legacy. His dad, Ken, was an O-lineman for the Cats in the 90s. They're actually the 2nd ever father-son duo who have been captains for this team. I talked to him this week, and you combine the family legacy with being from Bozeman, representing the hometown university. He said, it's something I'll cherish forever, guys.
And you can see that from a lot of Montana kids. Their dream is to come play for Montana State, especially for those dudes right from the city of Bozeman. And Kenneth Ida, definitely one of those guys. On the quick hitter on the near side, Braden Monroe. This offense just looking to get going as he tries to drag a few Bobcat defenders, and once again, some pushing and shoving after the whistle.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was actually talking to Old Man Iden this morning in the hotel, and I said, "How you doing, man? I mean, this has got to be so much fun. I mean, you know, following your son, and I hope to get to do this someday as a dad. And watch my kids play college ball, but he said it's been amazing, but it's also expensive. Next year's going to be a lot cheaper for him." I said, take your wife on a great vacation to Mexico or something, not Greeley.
Brandon Johnson tries to submarine up the middle. I'd imagine Jax Gregorak, probably a future 4-star recruit, maybe.
Well, you don't think he'd be a 5 or what? You just, I mean, come on, Ben. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Keep him humble. Keep him humble.
No question. I want him to work hard, be a good kid, do well in school, and if he's a 4 or 5-star recruit, that'd be pretty cool too. I think the dang athlete is my daughter. Gabby is a crazy gymnast. We'll see, man. Life's good. They're healthy. Love being a dad.
3rd down and 3. You see right there. 0 for 6 today. Northern Colorado just looking to get something going offensively. Pressure coming. Gibson able to scoot and picks up a 1st down.
I was just going to say, make it 1 for 6, Ben. I mean, you got all those speed rushers, and our man Eric Gibson felt it in a hurry. You see that first initial miss there by Hunter. He kind of bobbles the ball.
Timeout.
By the way, just their 2nd 1st down of the game. Just looking for any sort of spark offensively. 2-minute timeout here in Greeley.
Back into the studio, Scott Breen along with Casey Conlin, and fourth-ranked Montana State leading upstart Northern Colorado at the break. Upstart to this point in the season.
Absolutely. Certainly their best season in a while. We've said that many weeks now in the Big Sky. But when you run into the defending conference champions and a top 5 team in the country, you really start to see exactly what you can do. Obviously, Montana State completely dominating that first half from start to finish. Let's show you how it all happened. It's the defense that we talked about early, but Montana State's offense gets them on the board quickly. The little flip to Rocky Lencioni, and the Bozeman high product getting worked into the offense a lot more as the season goes along. 7-0 Bobcats. Early second quarter more from the Cats. Play action. Justin Lamson loads up, fires deep to Ryan King, down inside the 5. But 2 plays later, 3rd and goal. Cats trying to go a little trickery, and this one does not work. Great tackle from the Bears there, forces just a field goal to put MSU up 10-0. Later in the quarter, though, Lamson looking deep again for King again, down this time inside the 10. The Ryan King coming out party. Cats kick another field goal late. Adam Jones would then score a TD late. 20-0 at the half. Northern Colorado, 8 possessions, 8 punts. Just shows you how good that MSU defense is playing.
Meanwhile, the third-ranked Montana Grizzlies underway a college football games on tap today and tonight, but one of the most exciting already in the books.
Yeah, number 19, NAU hosting Idaho last night. A Halloween showdown at the Sky Dome. Idaho led 19-7 at the break. Here in the third, they add to it. The strip sack recovered by Cruz Hepburn, 65 yards the other way. 3-score lead for the Vandals. Oh, but wait a minute. Here comes Northern Arizona. 57-yard strike to Colby Katzis. He'd score again late to send it into overtime. Idaho, though, a touchdown from tight end Hayden Kinchlow walks it off as the Vandals upset number 19, 35-32 winners.
In addition to our games in Greeley, Colorado and Ogden, Utah right now, 3 more in the Big Sky today. Eastern Washington hosting Sac State. Just a few minutes from now, those 2 teams fighting for 4th place in the Big Sky standings. Also at 2 o'clock, 6th-ranked UC Davis hosting Idaho State. That could be a high-scoring affair. And then at 3 o'clock, Portland State still chasing its first win of the season at Cal Poly.
Just a few seconds until we get back out to Greeley, Colorado for the second half there. Once again, MSU leading 20-0. The big story, the defense. 8 drives for Northern Colorado, who's been very good on offense this year. 8 punts for them, I believe, averaging just 1 yard per play. That MSU defense is just another beast.
How many first downs for Northern Colorado?
I believe 2.
The answer is 2.
2
for those of you counting at home. In the first half.
Northern Colorado trying to get something going on offense. We'll see you at halftime of our game on our other channel, Montana and Weber State, and of course post-game after that one. Enjoy the second half in Greeley.
The 20-0 lead over Northern Colorado. Ben Creighton, Ty Gregorak here at Nottingham Field as we look at the first half highlights. Ty, all started with Rocky Lencioni again really breaking out here in the second half of the campaign.
Fantastic play, well designed, well blocked. You can see a couple explosive plays. Ryan King, have yourself a day. I mean, 2 catches for 82 yards. Justin's had most of the time, good pockets to throw, and this is the one that kind of surprised me. You can see the touchdown there by Adam Jones, but between Jones and Davis, they've only got 27 yards right now. So that that's interesting to me. I think UNC's defense has played well, even though it is 20-0.
The defense, obviously, tremendous once again.
66 yards of offense. I mean, come on, they're doing great, man.
Second half coming up here from Greeley. Start of the third quarter upcoming here on a beautiful day here in Greeley, Colorado, as just moments ago, Grace Lawrence caught up with Northern Colorado head coach Ed Lamb.
What stood out most to you, Coach, about your red zone defense?
Well, we caused a couple of field goals, as we call that bowing up or a 4-point play, go from 7 to 3 points on the scoreboard. That's somewhat kept us in the game, but really most of my thoughts right now are how to get a first down.
Yeah, what was the message to your offense at the half?
Just keep hanging in there. You know, don't point the finger at your coaches. Don't point the finger at each other. We got to block, tackle, make catches.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ty Gregorick, I think that pretty much nails it. When you only have 3 first downs through the first half, need a little more.
Yeah, it was a good summation by Coach Lamb. Very strong silent type after half. Let's just get a first down, Ben. Get a first down.
Only 3 first downs. They punted the ball 8 times, and they were 1 of 9 on third downs through the first 30 minutes. As Montana State will get the ball to start quarter number 3. Bobcat offense has scored on 3 of the last 4 drives, and a booming kickoff way out of the end zone. And you and I kind of talked about it on halftime just a second ago. I mean, kind of quiet first half so far for Adam Jones and Julius Davis. When Justin Lamson right now is their leading rusher in the game.
Right.
I mean, again, we know how talented of a runner he can be, but that's not going to get it done in the long run.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're slinging the heck out of the rock. There's no doubt about it. It's just, you know, Coach Vegan kind of prides himself and this staff and their philosophy on complementary football. And right now, the passing game is really not complementing the running game. Usually one sets up the other.
They'll try to get it going here on the first drive of the third quarter. And this is a pretty good start. Julius Davis, again, physical as he gets escorted out of bounds. 9-yard scoot, 8-yard scoot. I take that back for Julius Davis.
Yeah, and he immediately goes out again. It's a 2-headed monster. You know, I feel like the monster needs to get scarier, you know, in true Halloween theme yesterday, Ben.
We could still celebrate Halloween on November 1st.
Absolutely.
Adam Jones motions. They fake the sweep. Screen game, Taco Dowler busting up the middle. And look at that dude fly. Taco Dowler, no one will catch him. 67 yards to the blue turf. Touchdown, Bobcats.
Taco Tuesday on a Saturday, Ben. We haven't said that in a while. And I got to tell you this. Considering he took not 1 but 2 shots on that play to end the first half, it just shows you what a tough kid this is. I mean, he's not a big guy. My goodness, just a little screen here. Great perimeter blocking there by his tight end. The offensive line are getting, and then he just turns on the Jets and he's gone. Where's our taco hats for today, by the way? We talked about it, never came to fruition.
Again, just putting on the afterburners there like he can do so many times. The 4th receiving TD of 2025 for Dowler. Couldn't have asked for a better start offensively for Montana State out of the locker room. Wanted more explosive plays in the passing game. Taco Dowler tells Brent Vegan, I got you. Gone.
Well, there was just no safety there. That's the thing. I don't know if they went, you know, straight man across the board here. You know, but again, you can see all these guys on the perimeter just getting up, getting their blocks, and then again, this rest is on Taco. You know, and again, it's been a few weeks that, you know, since we've seen a big explosive play out of Taco Dowler there. Nice play design by Coach Steerbeck. Nice way to start the second half. You know, Coach Lamb is frustrated with the offense, you know, and I get it. Only 3 first downs and not doing anything on third down and no points. His defense had been very stout up until then, but that was a massive play. And I know it's really early in the second half, but those are backbreaker type plays on an outfit.
Well, Sam Mix even told us last week before that Cal Poly game, Taco Dowler's taking a bigger role, I should say, on those jet sweeps, the screen game, and really showing that impact. Fair catch called. So now on the flip side, Northern Colorado I mentioned the struggles. Only 3 first downs. You got to get something going because this is a team, an air raid team that's not built to be an air raid team, according to Ed Lamb when we chatted with him earlier this week.
Yeah, they're not running the football. They're not even trying to really run the ball. They had a couple decent runs early. But again, if that throwing game is not clicking, your defense is playing a lot of football just in terms of 3 and outs or maybe 4 plays, and they got to get something going here.
Well, it's got to start on first down. Brandon Johnson shuffles right through the hole, 5-yard gain. Because like I mentioned, you got to get good production on first down. That was a big point of emphasis for Ed Lamb.
It is, and the Bobcat faithful's not going to want to hear this, but Paul Brought's real slow to get up right now. In fact, he's down.
Yeah, that's huge for that D-line. They'll check on him, and we'll come back to Greeley after this.
Town Pump. Pump it up. Stockman Bank, Montana's brand of banking. Your Montana Chevy dealers. And the University of Montana. Build your skills the Montana way.
Well, again, couldn't have asked for a more beautiful day here in the northern part of Colorado, but certainly not a sight that Montana State fans wanted to see. Paul Brough tried to limp off the field under his own power, but then had to be helped to the sideline. So now a 2nd and 5 for this Bears offense. To the ground again, Brandon Johnson, the Arizona transfer, lowers his shoulder. And just able to pick up a first down, another 5-yard gain.
Yeah, it's real good contact, and Taden Gray's going to be slow to get up here. I mean, it's a good stick. You know, the running back kind of had his way with him, and you can see Taden there at the end. In fact, he's coming, he's just trying to shake it off right now. Yeah, you can see it right there. Kind of a shoulder-esque type looking way he's kind of holding his arm there.
Yeah, he'll come out, yeah.
And I just mentioned, you know, Paul Brought's out now too, so you're going to see a healthy dose of Zach Black and Talon Marsh in the interior D-line.
11 personnel in for Northern Colorado, just right up the gut. Past the 40-yard line for a gain of 5, Matthias Price. Fans, another reminder to show off your team spirits. Send us your best super fan photos, and you can see yourself on the big screen coming up later on in the 4th quarter. Just scan the QR code on your screen and upload your favorite fan shots. We'll pick some of the top photos and showcase more of them coming up later on here in the second half. First 3 plays, all 5-yard gains on this drive for Northern Colorado. Right up the gut again. Once again, Matthias Price, 9-yard pickup there. And Northern Colorado with a good first drive of their 3rd quarter moving down the field.
Yeah, it is. I mean, big hole. You can see that first initial contact by J.J. Dolan just gets him enough. Bryce Grebe finishes it off, but, you know, this starting front 4 now has been altered a little bit with an injury to Paul. You know, the depth has played so much this year, you just don't expect to see the big gaping hole like that. Nice drive so far for UNC.
Fisher Clements, the tight end in motion. Still to the hot hand, Price. And you can see it right there. Their bigger back, more downhill ability as he picks up a gain of 4 there. And this is a running back by committee group for Northern Colorado. They don't really have that bell cow that they'll give the ball off the majority of the time. Like I said, it's the hot hand, and right now it's Matthias Price on this drive.
No question. I guess I would have liked to have maybe seen a little bit more of this style in the first half, you know, because right now you're down 27. You know, you can't just grind out the football.
This time play action. Lets it rip, going to Cheeks, up in the air, incomplete.
very, very similar to the first half in that, you know, he's going after his guy, but they're, you know, great coverage, and then you got Taden Dowler pacing the whole way. I mean, good ISO shot on Cheeks here. Again, it's just you're throwing that cover 2 safety and Caden Dowler there.
Has been targeted 9 times so far in this game, 5 catches. And now 3rd down and 6. To the air again, quick hitter to their tight end, Charles Garrison, but a yard short of the line to gain. As we send it back down to Grace Lawrence.
Yes, Ben, just want a quick update. Paul is up on his own power. He's still fully dressed on the sideline in his helmet and everything, guys.
Some encouraging news for Montana State. And yeah, if you're down 27-zip, you got to go for it on 4th and 1 here.
Looks very pushy, Ben.
43% on 4th downs this season. As they give it to Hank Gibbs, who's basically their tight end quarterback hybrid, being used for short down situations. And he will pick up the 1st down. And like I mentioned, only 3 first downs in the first half, already 3 of them on this drive.
I can't wait to see, because I know this is going to come back on the table this year in the NFL, if they continue to try to outlaw that play right there.
Are you in the contingency where you want the tush-push banned in the NFL?
No, Ben, I'm not. No, it's a football play. People have to try to stop it. And I think defenses slowly are, you know, different ways of aligning your tackles, and there is a way to stop. It's not easy. Seth Johnson's had like 1,000 tackles today.
Justin Gwynn getting the carry. That should be Johnson's 3rd tackle of the game so far.
Here we go.
1-yard gain. The 10th play of this current drive has been row motions as they swing it out to him. Trying to cut up field down the boundary. 3rd down.
Try to get that screen game going a little bit after that 4th down. You know, they're finally on the Bear side of the field. Great inside-out pursuit there by J.J. Dolan.
36 yards on this drive, like I mentioned. Already with 3 first downs. Better production.
Well, they've matched their first down total.
Yeah.
This drive, first downs anyway.
Rocco Traore in at running back. Gibson underneath. Charles Garrison makes the squeeze. 1st down.
I like that they're using their tight ends. They have not, you know, thrown to him a bunch this year, but look at these big, good-looking bodies. I mean, my goodness, 6'5", 260 there for Garrison. The grad, he's already graduated. Get those dudes involved. Running the football a little bit. Again, time is of the essence now. I mean, we're at 8:30 here in the 3rd, and they're down 27. They're going to have to, you know, get some points going sooner than later.
The furthest northern Colorado has been in Montana State territory so far today. Incomplete. Underthrows Cheeks.
Yeah, it's a little miscommunication there. The Cats were bringing pressure. They don't bring it often, but I think Gibson thought Cheeks was zigging when he maybe should have been zagging or whatever. The communication was off.
And you're going to beat me to it, because I don't think any quarterback is going to be that offline on that kind of throw, unless there's some sort of miscommunication.
No, well, see, I think Gibson picked up the fact that it was pressure, but the route definitely didn't replicate what Gibson was thinking.
Traore, going back to Brandon Johnson. Again, you got to be on your toes with these running backs from Northern Colorado.
Yeah, last week it was 4 or 5 quarterbacks that had played throughout the year. And this week it's a plethora of tailbacks.
6 games last year at Arizona. Now facing another third down. And now Rocco Traore back in. And Rowe once again the motion man. Out into the flat. Traore absolutely swallowed up behind the line.
Xavier Aarons, man, and Coach Vegan said it at the half. He really likes the way they're tackling in the open field, and I can't agree more. I mean, they've been very, very salty. Some great hits. But again, I mean, there's just nowhere to go with the football. You got to check it down to your back, and Aarons is right there to make the play.
And now bring up a 4th and 14. A little more of a challenge than 4th and 1.
It is, and just going back to the tackling piece, I think this is some of the best complete tackling we've seen out of the Cats all year. They've been very sharp tackling the ball carrier.
They'll bring the heat. And a completion to Monroe. And that's going to be very close. The first down marker. It looks like it was short. And it will be short.
Yeah, we're going to see right here, you can see Caden Dowler coming off the edge here, and he's getting his hands up. Again, just enough to disrupt the throw. But, you know, again, they got to win on 1st and 2nd because that's a long, long way to get the first down.
Bobcats getting the football back, up 27-0. Well, I think that says it all right there. It's been a rough afternoon here in Greeley for the hometown Bears. Down 34-0, despite a team that has shown growth here in 2025. But when you got that guy making plays, Justin Lamson just firing dimes, it's going to be a long afternoon, long night, whatever for any opposing defense.
Well, and Ryan King is coming back on the scene in a big way, and Dane Steele has made some great plays as well, Ben.
Not much going there for Wooten. By the way, a career high for Taco Dowler today.
That usually means bad things for the opposition.
Well, 34-0. Long way to go for this Northern Colorado squad. Gibson today, 16 of 26 for only 62 yards. On the ground, looking for a window, Matthias Price with a strong run there. He'll get enough to move the chains on a 10-yard run. And now a word from Whitefish Credit Union.
Montanans the best way to save. Whitefish Credit Union certificates are available now.
Matthias Price now up to 18 yards on the ground. Again, not much going in the running game today for Northern Colorado. Looking to make something happen as he gets another carry and another decent run for a gain of 8.
Yeah, they've got some skill in the backfield, and you can see the time. That's a great run right there. Again, it's just we're getting a little late in the game to establish the run game, Ben. I mean, it's 3 minutes to go, and you're down by a lot.
Four wide. Monroe on the slant. Another first down as Braden Monroe makes the catch. But you look at Carver Cheeks, we hyped him up during the pregame. But that Montana State defense, that secondary, doing a good job covering him this afternoon.
They have, and you know what I just love that you said right there, Ben? Covering. You don't guard in football. I watch football games, I'm like, yeah, this guy's guarding. No, you cover, and they're playing great coverage. And overall, that secondary's come to hit today, too, and I love it.
Gibson just has to get rid of it with the pressure coming down on him.
Big Dom Solano, I talked about him earlier. Again, Coach Baptiste said he's really, gained the trust of his teammates. He's getting a lot of turns with the way they're rolling defensive linemen in and out. Nice play by him.
Well, going back to your point, it's also when I hear commentators say forcing turnovers. No, it's forcing takeaways.
Yeah, they're taking, the offense has a turnover. The defense takes it away. Guarding. Come on. Covering. Play coverage.
Well, we're like 2 days away from basketball season, so
I know.
We could use it. Price once again with a strong run into Bobcat territory. We'll bring up third down.
Big game 7 tonight, too. You and I were talking about at the break with the World Series. We got a lot of good sports right now.
I'm just hoping I'll be able to watch it on the plane back home tonight.
Yep.
Third down and 3 as we hit the 2-minute mark here in the third. And stuffed. Only about a 1-yard gain there for Traore.
Decision time for Coach Lamb. Again, the game's getting out of hand. We're going to have about a 4th and looks like maybe 2.
Yep, 4th and 2.
I'll say this though, you've got a lot of the backups in right now. Your defensive ends from Montana State with Kenny Iden and Hunter Parsons. But again, you look at those stats right there. Coach Howe's done a heck of a job with this unit.
Johnson reaching for the first down marker. He won't get it.
Big time effort by the front. Big time effort by both the second and third level here when you watch it, but again, that initial penetration. You can see Charbonneau right there, but that initial penetration by the front four is what bubbled this play to get the rest of the homies there to swarm the football. First down, Montana State.
Which just speaks to, once again, the job this Montana State coaching staff has done. First in the Big Sky on third down percentage, 28%. I mean, they're just a brick wall up front, man.
Yeah, they are. I mean, again, when you're 70% or better have a success defensively, that's incredible. You can see, you know, in this Northern Colorado defense has been stout against the run.
Lamson lets it fly again, wide open. At the 25, Chris Long, wrapped up by a trio of Bears. 29-yard completion.
Big window here going up the Bobcat sideline. You can see just there's a lot of room between that corner and Cam Chapa there, the safety. You can see this is an interesting formation. You got trips into the boundary, overloaded, unbalanced set, all going into the boundary.
Up the middle. Still trucking. Another first down, Julius Davis.
Really a good, tough physical run here by Davis. They're just running inside zone. And look at those big legs, just keep churning. Big D lineman couldn't stop him. Going to take a safety to stop him. That's usually not a good thing when our man Chapa's got to make the tackle.
They'll actually rule him a yard short of the first down marker, as that'll take us to the end of the third quarter here at Nottingham Field. Montana State with a dominant afternoon on the road, on their way to remaining undefeated in Big Sky play. Fourth quarter on the other side.
Montana State University, Mountains and Mines. Town Pump, pump it up. Stockman Bank, Montana's brand of banking. Your Montana Chevy dealers. And the University of Montana. Build your skills the Montana way.
Second down out of the eye as we start this fourth quarter. Play action again, rolling to his right. Lamson takes off again and powers his way into the end zone. Justin Lamson, 15 yards into the end zone, and the Bobcats blowing it open.
My goodness. Again, 13 personnel here. We're starting to get some stuff out of these big tight end packages. We got a guy down here, Ben.
A guy that can just lower his shoulder and get those extra yards. Adding on to a career day. Like Ty said, another injury. They'll check on him and we'll come back. One final look at our MMA fan zone. Again, want to thank all of you for sending in your submissions today. A lot of Bobcat fans definitely enjoying the score of this one here in the fourth quarter. And of course, you got to celebrate the Halloween. You got the skeleton in the background there. You got the pug. People still celebrating Halloween on November 1st. You have to.
Sure. It's one of the greatest nights of the year.
Domination here in Greeley, 41-0.
Yeah, the wheels have kind of fallen off. As solid and salty as I thought the UNC defense was in the first half, it's taking a turn for the worse in a hurry.
Because this is a Northern Colorado team. Beat a top 25 Idaho squad on the road. They went to South Dakota, I should say. Went down to overtime. They almost beat a top 25 Sac State program on the road. And they were able to claw their way back a little bit last week here in this building against UC Davis, but not the case today, down 41-0 to the number 14 in the land. As Peter Costelli is back in at quarterback for Northern Colorado. On the keeper. And gets pushed out of bounds by Ryan Crea.
Yeah, that game here in a few weeks, we actually don't get to do it. The Bobcats go home next week versus Weber State, and then 2 weeks, massive showdown against UC Davis prior to the brawl.
Yeah, you want to talk about two huge, and that might be an understatement, to be honest with you, to wrap up the regular season for Montana State, those two showdowns. Costelli, back shoulder throw, flag flies, incomplete, intended for Carver Cheeks.
Yeah, they're going to get Takari Carr on the pass interference here.
Pass interference, defense, number 0. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
A lot of hands. You're going to see it right here. He's got both hands on him, never looks back. PI all day.
Montana State has done an excellent job shutting down that passing attack for Northern Colorado. Only 73 yards through the air today for the Bears. Costelli once again out of bounds. No gain there. And another word from the Whitefish Credit Union.
Montanans the best way to save. Whitefish Credit Union certificates are available now.
Peter Costelli suffering a broken collarbone at the very beginning of the season. A chance that he could play today, but good to see him back, which obviously led to Eric Gibson taking the reins of that offense. 2nd and 10. He'll go to the air. Incomplete.
Yeah, this all starts with the coverage. Good coverage right there by Boyd. You know, his initial look wasn't there, so then he went backside. Good tight coverage. Get him to 3rd and long. Very favorable down and distance for the Cat defense. And Ben, this is the point in the game where if you made the charter flight, if you're wearing white and gold, good opportunity to get some reps.
On 3rd down, Costelli. That one caught. And into Montana State territory, a 1st down going to Hank Gibbs.
That's a great catch by Gibbs because there was hands. In fact, Ryan Cray was actually really close to tipping the ball here. Luckily they didn't get PI, but seeing some new faces. He might have did.
He did.
Got a finger on the ball.
That spin from that football changed.
Yeah, it did.
Halfway to Gibbs there. As I like to say, you got to dig into the game notes and get to the full team roster here. Costelli looking to scoot and will just slide down. Yeah, I'd imagine coming back from a broken collarbone, you're not going to take a risk of getting leveled by a defender. Loss of 5 there.
Well, see, and that's where I'd kind of like to see Lamson do some more of that every now and then, but he's such a competitive dude that he can't help himself, and you know what? More often than not, it turns into pretty good things. Hence him scoring another touchdown using his legs.
Well, you know how much of a gamer and how competitive he is. He's not going to do that. He's going to try to get every single yard he can.
No, I hear you.
2nd and 15. Climbs the pocket. Ball on the turf. Bodies all over. Recovered by Northern Colorado.
Well, and here's the deal. The guy that makes this play initially is that one right there, Jake Vegan. Ben, Jake Vegan, right there. That's okay, I see you.
Coach's son getting into the action here in the fourth. 3rd and a ways to go. On the screen, cuts upfield, past the 30, past the 25. Matthias Price.
Yeah, there's a lot of youngsters in the game right now. That was 3rd and forever. Screen alert all the way. I say it every week. Anytime, as a defensive lineman now, if they just let you go, something's up. Something's up. Put your feet in the ground, put your cleats in the ground, turn, retrace, go find the football.
As Jacob Willick will come on to try a 41-yarder and to give the Bears their first points. But offsides will give them a first down.
Yeah, that's a really bad ball right there. And I saw a couple of Cat coaches not thrilled. That's how, you might make the charter down. The question is, do you make the charter going back up? And that's a foolish offsides by the defense.
Offside. Defense, number 3, 5-yard penalty, results in a first down.
That's Corey Boyd again, you know. You give him a little love for some good tight coverage, and he jacks it up, jumps off sides, and gives them a fresh set of downs inside their own 20.
Well, with that offsides, this will now be the first trip into the AVA red zone this afternoon for Northern Colorado.
It all comes from a defensive offside.
Carver Cheeks on the screen game, able to stay on his feet. And that's what he's good at, getting those yaks. 5-yard pickup.
He looks like he's a little dinged up too. Again, the secondary's got some good shots on these receiving core today. For a team that's been so productive through the air, compliments to this Cat secondary. They've done a great job.
Gibson on the play fake. Down at the 1. Carver Cheeks, I mean, he's taking a beating.
Yeah, he is, and it's a good job by the quarterback getting the ball out, because Zach Cruz he's tracking him down. Good throw and catch, and sure enough, they're knocking on the door.
Bears quickly to the line. And whistles before the snap. Zach Cruz, Matthias Price.
Some pushing and shoving, conversation.
Exchanging some pleasantries. I imagine this is probably going to get reviewed.
Ruling on the previous play is a catch. The previous play is under further review.
Yep, there you go.
What do you think? What's your first initial response here, Ben?
Well, even though he bobbled it, it did look like he might have maintained possession, but this might be a better look. Does the pigskin at all touch the turf? Right there, but I guess the question is...
It definitely touches.
Right, but is it more...
Is there more white glove, cotton material that's under it or not? It's going to be an interesting call. Of course, last week we had a clear incomplete, and it took like 5 minutes to make that call. This one's actually a really tough call, and I'll be curious to see how long they keep their face into the video screen there, the DV Sport.
Well, as of 5 minutes ago, because we haven't gotten an update on our stats monitor.
After review, as the receiver was trying to catch the ball hit the ground. Therefore, by rule, that was an incomplete pass. It will be 4th down at the previous spot.
Close but no cigar. This one really is close. I mean, I can see why they, I can see why they called it incomplete. It was close.
I was just about to say I was going to give an update on Carver Cheeks this afternoon, but unfortunately our stats monitor hasn't refreshed in about 5 or so minutes.
I thought I was under you, but.
So now 4th down and 5. And still more conversation between our officials this afternoon.
They're talking about the replay, the catch, they're probably talking about, where are we going after?
Well, now it's 3rd down.
What are we thirsty for?
So now it's 3rd down. I think that's what the confusion was down on the field.
Correction, 3rd down.
Okay, there you go. I got a flight to catch, guys.
You're like, hey, where are we getting a fat tire after?
3rd down and 5. Gibson rolling, still looking for options. Goes to the end zone, incomplete.
No good.
Intended for Braden Monroe.
Really nice catch by Monroe here. He just got led a little too far to his right, but watch this catch. Just a little wide.
So now 4th down.
And they're going for it.
Down 41-0. Don't really have much of a choice here.
I mean, 3 or 7, whatever.
1 of 3 today. Underneath and picked off. And rumbling the other way. Talon Marsh down the sideline. Touchdown, Montana State, 80 yards, big man TD.
I gotta see it, but I think it's Dom Solano that tips it. A defensive end tips it to the big fella, the big man out of Helena, Montana. And look at that sideline. Look at them. It looked like a bunch of hyenas standing around a carcass of a dead rhino right now. They're so happy for the big man. Holy heck, 280 pounds, rumbling, stumbling. Look at him. Look at the sideline. Yeah. You gotta love it.
Almost got caught from behind. I was gonna say, if he got caught at like the 3-yard line, that would have been heartbreak for that sideline.
and now the offense is trying to make sure everybody's out there.
It's a party on the sideline right now,
is.
including the stands in the Montana State section.
Well, there might be more Cat fans here than Bear fans, actually, Ben. There's a lot of fans dressed up as empty seats, and that Bobcat sideline has gone nuts. Nuts. There it is. The takeaway cowboy hat for the big man. He's got to be exhausted. Where's the oxygen? There's our sideline extraordinaire. Grace down there.
Is an interception
get away
for a
from me.
touchdown. The previous play is under review.
No, don't do that.
Did he? Are they going to look to see if he stepped on the sideline?
I don't know.
That's what I've assumed.
What a tragedy if this gets taken from the big fella.
The ruling on the field has been upheld. The score is a touchdown. Then after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, players from the bench area coming onto the field. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
That's probably one of those, Ben, where
I think they'll take that penalty.
The big man, Coach Viggs, he might let that one slide. Might give him a pass on that one.
You saw a little smirk there from Brent Vegan.
Yeah, you know, you hate penalties, but that one just, you know, you get a 280, 85-pound defensive tackle running for a tutter. It's just one of those that you gotta let the boys have some fun.
I thought I saw everything. Big man rumble into the end zone for a touchdown. And a party in the end zone for Montana State.
Today's game is sponsored by the University of Montana.
Yeah, in the years you and I have done these games, Ty, I mean, we've seen a lot of wacky things in these games. But now we got a big man rumbling for an 80-yard pick six.
Incredible. I mean, it's that's fun. I mean, it just kind of shows you how the day has gone. 48 for one side and a big fat 0 for the other, and that was very much a dagger.
Wooten from the 9. Coming to the opposite side of the field, and the ball's on the turf again. Montana State gets it back. And you thought it was a party a second ago. Now it's going to be a hootenanny.
Well, watch the replay. This is number 24, Coulter Petrie, I believe. Yep, right there. He's coming in. He's coming in hot. He's bringing that CPR Cub punch. Punch it out right there. Good night. This thing went from bad to worse in a hurry. Did you see who recovered the ball,
I was
Ben?
trying to figure it out.
Good. What a shot, though, by Coulter Petrie, just coming in with that punch, that right hand.
Well, safe to say, I think it's probably going to be a very joyous trip back to Bozeman.
Yeah, you can hear it. You can probably hear it on television. That Bobcat faithful here.
Right through the line. A couple yards short of the 20. Back down to Grace Lawrence, who's in the middle of all that mayhem.
Yes, well, Ben, it's absolutely chaotic down here. I don't know if I've ever seen the bench this excited. Maybe after their semifinal win against South Dakota back at home last year, the Bobcat faithful traveled extremely well. And after those 2 takeaways, I mean, these players are getting on the bench and they're getting the crowd involved. And just selflessness. I mean, the team's absolutely there for one another. When Marsh had that touchdown, I mean, he comes over to the sideline. Coach Howe just embraces him, gives him the biggest hug, guys.
And Montana State once again knocking on the door, looking to increase this lead. Colson Kuhn moves the sticks. And yeah, I mean, Grace absolutely nailed it. You could see the cohesiveness week after week with this Montana State program. Not a lot of egos in Bozeman.
No, you know, as you look at some of these coaching changes going on around the country, and, you know, a lot of times the head coach is the face of the program, and I believe the program is the program. The players are the face of this program. That's what's so special, and it's a compliment to Brent Vegan. And just what kind of a guy and a coach he is. He's a very humble man, and it's all about the players, Ben.
8-yard pickup there. Just moments ago. Takeaway cowboy hat once again returns.
Yeah, it's been on display a few times today, and just kind of passing it around.
Out of the eye now, Patrick Duchesne in at QB after Justin Lampson's tremendous afternoon. 2nd and 2. He'll keep it himself and take it down at the 2.
looks like he took a pretty nice shot at the end. A nice job by that UNC defense, because he kind of had the momentum going towards the blue paint there on the field turf. Great job by capping it off. I didn't catch the defender, but took a good shot.
Patrick Duchesne, Montana Player of the Year back in high school in 2022. Valson motions. Touchdown. As Montana State punches it in again. Jared White, for the second straight week, finds the end zone.
Well, it all starts with takeaways, man, and turnovers, and fantastic job by the Cats. We're going to see this on the replay. We're not going to see it. He's in the pistol. Jared White's kind of got that Ashton Genty vertical stance. It's kind of funny to see.
Earlier this week, Brent Vigen saying that Jared White knew the depth chart wasn't going to be that different with Adam Jones and Julius Davis back. As the extra point is good. Proven to be a versatile back, especially making catches out of the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, he's starting. Look at that stance right there. That's what I'm talking about. It's just straight verticals. That Michael Myers Halloween. There you go. You know, but that guy's starting at a lot of programs, man. I really believe
he
that.
would.
You know, he's a good football player. You know, there's just a heck of a stable of tailbacks, and has been now for multiple years.
Well, even going back 3 years ago when you and I first started doing these games in 2022, with the injuries Montana State had in the running back room, Jared White was a hugely featured back.
Yes, he was.
In that running back room.
Yep, I mean, you got two of the best in the Big Sky with Julius Davis and Adam Jones. Colson Kuhn's a dang fine player, and you know, I'll say this though: when Jared White gets his turns, man, I mean, we call his name a lot. When he does get those turns, you know, it's a compliment to him sticking around. I know he kind of dipped his toe in the transfer portal, but that guy's done a heck of a job. I think I said on last week's broadcast, anyone who doesn't think this is the greatest era of Montana State football is crazy. Now they just got to somehow, some way make it to the top of the mountain and get a #1 ring.
Well, the offense, again, just clicking. They have now scored touchdowns on 5 straight offensive possessions. And plus, you also got that pick 6 from Talon Marsh.
Yes, we did. The big man.
Update from scores from around the conference. A good one right now down in Davis. Idaho State, 21-20. Down in Ogden, our Grizz crew right now calling a 31-10 lead for Montana over Weber State. Sacramento State looking to bounce back right now with a 21-10 lead on the Red Inferno, and no score so far down in San Luis Obispo as Cal Poly looks to bounce back against Portland State. Matthias Price has definitely been the featured back today for Northern Colorado.
Yeah, that Davis score kind of surprises me a little bit, Ben. Not that Idaho State, you know, Idaho State can beat you. Coach Hawkins doing a good job just at Davis with them playing for so much here in this final stretch.
Costelli to the air. That one almost intercepted again. And once again, Coulter Petrie almost making another big play on defense.
Yeah, he finds a way to snag this one, man. He's not paying for too many cold ones in the near future. It's a little high. Another Helena High football player. The Helena boys, man, they're having a day.
On the rollout, Gibbs picks up a first down. Yeah, and that meeting 2 weeks from tonight, going back to Davis and Bozeman, huge, absolutely huge. Obviously, depending on what happens the rest of that one. down at Aggie Stadium and obviously next week as well.
Well, no question. You know, it's just so weird to say, man. I mean, Weber State, you know, that was always kind of a red letter game, right? I mean, that was a big game always. And boy, things have really fallen off since Coach Jay Hill has left for BYU, which we talked about earlier. BYU is one of the best in the country, but it's just crazy to say Weber, you know, seeing that score. And Montana's very good, don't get me wrong, but Weber's struggling, man.
Yeah, hard to believe it was just 3 years ago. I mean, we called a game between Montana State and Weber State, as we'll get a flag here. At that time, Montana State was number 3 in the country. Weber was number 5 in the country in that crazy showdown in Bozeman.
Pass interference, defense, number 0. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, Coach Green, you know, I talked about him earlier, and just the mentality that he's brought to that corner room. That being said, that one's for you, Flint. That being said, that's his second PI of the game. He's got to learn to eventually let the receiver go and not be so handsy. Good shot of Coach Jody Owens right there, one of the greats in the linebacker core for Montana State.
Under 5 to play here in the 4th. Domination today for number 4 Montana State. Costelli on the keeper. Nowhere to go.
Big Seth Brock. Look at Big Seth Brock. We haven't called his name a ton as he's, you know, down the depth chart, gets all his turns on special teams. He himself had a touchdown against South Dakota State.
Another check-in with this week's Williams Plumbing and Heating poll. At the midpoint of the conference season, who has been the Big Sky offensive MVP? Michael Wortham, obviously. What a get for Bobby Houck in Missoula, the transfer out of Eastern Washington. Justin Lamson not too far behind, and I mean, honestly, with his performance today, definitely making a strong case to be in that conversation. Monroe on a nice dime right there from Costelli.
Great throw, great catch. To your point on Lamson, though, you know, what a day. You know, where we kind of thought he was a little off target last week, and probably, you know, statistically his worst performance. He came back guns a-blazing. Fantastic get for this Cat, not just the Cat offense, this Cat team. The way he plays the game, his leadership skills and style. What a get for him, losing one of the best in Tommy Blott.
Over the middle. Brody Judd, sophomore out of Westminster, Colorado, 15-yard catch. Yeah, and that leadership you mentioned, especially with Justin Lamson not able to be a participant in spring ball, had to join the program late, formed that bond with his teammates very quickly upon his arrival in Bozeman. Trying to turn the corner. And pushed out of bounds. Kearius Boone on a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, it's, you know, again, a lot of new faces in there. You don't have a defense if you don't have an edge. And it looked like the youngster Logan Fredrickson there lost the leverage, and that's what Coach Vegan talks about, whether it's tackling or just, you know, just defensive football in general. It's all about leverage.
Northern Colorado still looking for their first points of the game, trying to get that late in this one. Boone again on the pitch. And a strong run once again.
Good, it was a good strong run. Trying to see if they can get out of this glorious Saturday here in the 52-80 by putting some points on the board.
Okay.
And you see right there, still holds for Montana State. We highlighted it way back in the pregame show. Only 51 total points allowed over this last 6 games. As that still holds true, at least as of right now. And a first down for UNC.
Yeah, whether they get points or not here, Ben, again, it's just, you know, we'll have a new statistic next week in terms of FCS opponents. In the last 6 games, these guys have been lights out.
2-minute timeout in Greeley as we wind down this one. Well, Ty, there's no question who our Whitefish Credit Union player of the game is. Justin Lamson, a career day here in Greeley.
Yeah, man, it was a tough call. I mean, obviously Taco deserves his props, but this guy's special, man. I hope the Bobcat faithful realizes what they've got for plays just like that. I mean, what a fantastic play. This kid's good. I think I said he was a gift from the heavens last week, but look at that, 16 to 22, 331. He's perfect. I mean, that's as close to perfection as you can get.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground. Northern Colorado still looking to put up their first points of the afternoon as Boone will be swallowed up. And we knew, going back to his days at Stanford, that Justin Lamson can tuck it and run. I mean, he led the Cardinal last year in rushing TDs under former head coach Troy Taylor, but a lot of people didn't really realize he can sling the rock as well. He even said, look, if anybody looks at my tape the last 2 years, they think I'm just a run-first guy as Boone scoots into the end zone on a 5-yard touchdown run to give the Bears their first points of the day.
I mean, I'm happy for the kid that he scored, but little hip shake at the end, man. You are losing by 49 points at home, but nice job not giving up. Nice job getting in the end zone. Show a little swag, little drip at the end, I guess. You know, I mean, it just shows you how good Montana State is, because UNC's been in a lot of games. You know, you take a look at the record, it is what it is, but they've been competitive. And this has been a beat-down Saturday here in lovely Greeley, Colorado.
And now 55-7 game. And that's the big thing for Northern Colorado with Ed Lamb, just that continued growth. Because like you said, they've been in a lot of games this year against top 25 opponents. This definitely being the exception today against number 4 Montana State. But I mean, it's tough because you go back to the days before Ed Lamb got hired, there really wasn't a lot of excitement here in Greeley, but competing, getting a huge win on the road in Moscow against Idaho. I mean, there are some decent pieces here in Greeley as you look at the upcoming schedule for Ed Lamb's squad.
Yeah, and it's going to be, it's not getting easier. Obviously, the Portland State game at the end looks like it should be a win, maybe. Northern should come back swinging next week, and then, you know, Eastern's playing better. I know they're losing right now, but, you know, going back to what you were saying, man, I mean, this once was a proud football program, man. They were very, very good in Division II. Obviously, Joe Glenn, who was a great coach, great man, you know, he parlayed all his success to get the Montana job, and that eventually led to the Wyoming job. But, you know, since coming into the Big Sky, they just haven't, you know, they got to do all the right things playing in FCS football, man. Their all-time record in the Big Sky is 30-120, man, which is about to be 30-121, you know. But I mean, we're showing renderings of another new facility deal in Bozeman, and you know, you look around. I've been coming down here a long time now, and they just haven't. You know, they got to do things to be competitive, man.
Well, time will tell, because after that Idaho win in the Kibbie Dome, Ed Lamb said he hopes that would be a program-turning win for this Northern Colorado squad. But again, definitely a rough afternoon here at Nottingham Field, down 55-7.
Well, it just snowballed them too. I mean, again, offensively, they couldn't, they couldn't do much in the first half, but defensively they played well, and then it's pretty much been all bad in the second half.
A couple of run plays by Montana State. Should just about do it, but I think we're going to get a timeout here. And we will by Northern Colorado.
Northern Colorado. Their second.
And we've already talked about it. The upcoming schedule for the Bobcats next week. We're finally going to be back in Bozeman. Feels like forever since we've been back in Bozeman calling a game. They'll take on Weber State, and then that huge one against number 6 UC Davis. We'll see if they're still ranked number 6 again in a dogfight right now with Idaho State, and then out to Wa Grizz for the Brawl of the Wild.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot riding on that one. Again, there's still 2 more weeks before it, but yeah, that could have a lot riding on that game.
I mean, very good chance. It's going to be a repeat of what we saw 2 years ago, the last time that game was in Missoula that decided the outright Big Sky title.
Well, and you and I talk, and we've been doing it now 4 years together, but man, the road team has fared very poorly in the Brawl in the last 4, 5, 6 years, and it's it'll be interesting to see if that trend, even if you just love to see a competitive game, and they just haven't been competitive for quite some time. They haven't. I mean, 2018, the miracle, if you will, the miracle of Missoula, that's probably the last competitive brawl that there's been.
I mean, that's just hard to believe with how lopsided that game has been since that time. With all the hype coming into it every single year. Jared White spins past the tackle. Gain of 5, first down. But with that game looming, like you said, still got 2 more weeks to play before we all head to Missoula.
Yeah, and I'm bummed we don't get to do the UC Davis game. We've been talking about it ever since the ESPN picked their games, because we knew that one would be a pretty important and pivotal game in the schedule.
Especially with how wacky that game was last year in Davis that we got to call. Kneel down by Duchesne.
Yeah, I think they're going to need to do that one more time. Shake hands, walk the half mile back to the locker room, and get out of town.
And this is now updated. Montana State will cruise to a 55-7 win. Montana in control right now down in Ogden. With UC Davis, a lot to play for still against Idaho State. But here in Greeley, it is the 4th-ranked Bobcats, remaining undefeated in Big Sky play. A quest for back-to-back Big Sky titles continues with a runaway 55-7 win over Northern Colorado. Probably the most exciting play of the afternoon goes to that guy right there.
Well, I mean, there are a couple big passes to King. Taco obviously had an amazing day. Lampson was nails, but that play right there, 280-plus pound dude rumbling and stumbling for a touchdown. He'll never forget that one, man. He'll be telling his grandkids about that one, Ben.
Down to Grace Lawrence with Justin Lampson.
Justin, the bench was going crazy in that second half. The Bobcat faithful were going crazy. What are your emotions like after a game like this?
Yeah, we were talking about just bringing our own juice to this game, you know what I mean? And I mean, when I ran out, I saw all the Bobcat fans. That kind of got us hyped right away. And then just, cheering for our teammates is something we've been preaching all week. And, in an atmosphere like this, kind of have to do that sometimes. So I think we showed up.
A career day for you, a career day for some of your receivers. What was clicking on offense?
We were just kind of stressing big plays. I mean, I think we played ball control football last week, right, with the run game. And, we were trying to stress big plays all year and more this week. So I think everybody did a good job from the O-line to the receivers and running backs. And Coach Sturbig, got to give him credit for the plays he was calling too.
You're starting out November pretty great. What kind of momentum do you want this win to take into the rest of the month?
Yeah, probably the biggest month of the regular season. Just trying to get better each week. I think that's the most important thing.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like you say every single year, Ty. The games they remember are played in November. As once again, Montana State wins it 55-7, as that will do it here from Greeley. For those watching in the Montana markets, stick around for the end of Montana at Weber State, or you can switch over to the Spot MTN. We'll be back on the Spot after the Grizzlies and Wildcats wrap things up for full post-game coverage. For everyone else, we'll send you to regular programming. For all of us here at Scripps Sports, want to thank all of you for watching once again, as once again the final score, number 4, Montana State 55, Northern Colorado 7. For Ty Grigorek, Grace Lawrence, and the rest of our always terrific Scripps Sports crew, I'm Ben Creighton saying so long from Greeley, Colorado. You've been watching Big Sky Football on Scripps Sports. So long, everyone.